Oh gosh. Autumn is just for you. Hi, I'm Ash, and you're watching the Disney Channel. Raise my mic. Raise your volume. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Huh. I don't think I can get it any closer, so I'll just project myself even more. Hello, and welcome to the stream. My name is Ash. That was way louder than I actually anticipated, and I did not want it to be that loud. How are you guys this lovely Saturday morning? It's Saturday. No, Pring. Yes, my name is Ash, but no, we're not going to play Mass Effect Andromeda. So if you're here thinking that I'm going to play Mass Effect Andromeda, you should come back on the 16th, because that's when the preview is happening. And, well, you know what? I'll just say it right now. I'm going to be doing my Dick Rider Richard Rider playthrough, aka the Renegade style, I guess you could say. The Return of the Askquisitor, but in Rider form, Pathfinder form. That's going to be happening whenever the Origin Early Access comes out. But yeah. So how are you guys today? Ash with the JP School Bangs haircut. Thank you. Oh man, but thank you guys for being here. This was kind of hey, I'm just gonna announce on Twitter that I'm doing streaming again. And this is more for chilling out and hanging out with you guys. I didn't want to make it like a huge grandiose, like, oh my god, we're gonna talk about Mass Effect. Did you see all that news that happened on Thursday? Let's go through every single detail, because there were so many details that came out on that day. Oh my god. If you don't know, so this whole stream is going to be basically about Mass Effect Andromeda, because on Thursday at 6 a.m. I think it was 6 a.m. Pacific, a lot of media groups like IGN and Kotaku and Game Informer, GameSpot, a lot of Australian ones, a lot of French ones, German publications and all that, they got to play, I believe it was either 2 or 3 hours of Mass Effect Andromeda, and then they released their previews, not reviews, previews on the game. So we're just gonna talk about it and then go through mainly what I wanted to do. Let's plan a little bit. So I don't want to go into the gameplay, because gameplay, you can watch the series. So BioWare has started a gameplay series that is going through all the details, and I think I believe the voiceover is Mac Walters. They did a really good job, and I think to a point, you don't really need to break down most of it. I mean, there's a lot of like small details that come into those gameplay series, especially with the cutscenes that drop down. But what I wanted to talk today was all the other stuff that they talked about at the previews. Here we go. So for the non-spoiler part, we'll talk about character creator and dialogue choices. And then for the spoiler part, characters and romance. Characters as in anyone who is our crew or companion, and then romance as in, well, who do we know so far? So man. Oh yeah, right now I have the sub notifications disabled, but anyone who subs or follows during the stream, I will acknowledge thou at the end of it. I swear, and we'll do a Q&A at the end in order to talk about Andromeda and all that jazz. So, if you didn't pay attention, right up here, right here, it says spoilers disabled, which means that the beginning part of this is going to only be talking about things that don't pertain to the story. So it's safe, and you're okay, and nothing bad is gonna happen with me spoiling, oh my god, someone is romanceable, this is amazing. But whenever I turn this on, that means get the hell out if you don't want spoilers. So, just so you know, yeah, be careful. So let me go back on here. So, spoilers disabled, we're gonna talk about just the main stuff. So, a lot... No! Pring! Stop it! Stop it. So yes, right now everything is okay. We're not gonna talk about spoilers. All we're going to talk about for this portion is character creator and dialogue. At a later stream or video or what have you, I will be talking more about the gameplay and all that jazz. But for now, because I only have a limited amount of time today, we're going to talk about this jazz. You cool? You good, you guys? Sweet? All right, let's start. So, ooh, that was not VLC, I swear. So in any case, actually, let me bring this screen up back to Zekru. So, also, if you don't know, the new briefing came out today. So if you don't know the Andromeda initiative, what BioWare is doing with that is they have different video briefings that you get to watch, and they go through a lot of different things about the game and whatnot. Today was the weapons training. Now, if you've never played a Mass Effect game before, or you are totally about Liam's voice, which it's British. I mean, it's kind of hard not to go. He is voicing the latest one. So that's on the Andromeda, that's on the Mass Effect website. So you can check that out. Actually, it looks something like this, and I'll just play in the background. So Liam is voicing that one. But yeah. Spoilers as in who is romanceable, or spoilers as in what happens in the romance? Who is romanceable, and how we know? Will this be on YouTube? Yes, it will be. So make sure you pay attention to this, because this thingy will tell you if I'm going to go into the deep end or not. Alright. But thank you for being here, you guys. Okay, so character creator. Obviously, none of the media sites actually show the character creator, but it's pretty obvious. We've seen what Sarah looks like. We've seen what Scott looks like. Now, there are 9 templates that are going to be for each gender, and each one is based on actual 3D scans. So it's a lot more realistic, I guess is the best way of putting it. But apparently, some of the game media think that it looks a little bit cartoony, or it looks a little bit off, or something like that. But to be honest, a lot of it falls under they're not really confident in what they saw with the animations, for like the facial animations. I mean, a lot of people have said, oh, Sarah Ryder looks kind of weird in some of the trailers that we've seen. To be honest, I think she looks awesome, but it's a credible thing to say. So, well, one, BioWare said, well, animations and all that got cleaned up since the copy that the press got to play, well, since that came out. So that's going to be cool. And then also, what else I was going to say? Oh man. 1, that. And 2, don't worry about it, because what we see what they saw in the media preview is not going to be representative of what we see on day 1, because day 1 is going to have a patch. Okay, personally, I'm a little bit about patches, primarily because patches, some of them are only, like a couple hundred megabytes, and then some of them are like several gigabytes. And I feel for anyone who has to deal with data caps or anything like that. Here, where I live, we don't have data caps. I'm lucky enough to have a company that is owned by Google Fiber, but I have major feels for anyone who has to deal with that. But anyway, we were talking about character creator, and I totally went on a tangent. If you don't know who I am, I'm Ash, and I go on tangents a lot. So let's go back to character creation. All right. So some of you may already know, Sarah and Scott are your 2 twins, or your twins. You can only choose one of them, and let's just get it out of the way, because I did not realize people actually thought this is a thing. They're not romanceable. Stop. Okay, anyway. You cannot edit the default face. That is not a thing. I know there was a mod in Dragon Age 2 that could actually allow you to change the default Hawk, but not in this one. BioWare doesn't let you. However, you can change your rider to be whatever you want. I almost said Shepherd, I'm sorry. Still kind of miss it. So you can recreate whatever rider you like. There's a lot of different choices, way more than what was in the previous games, even more so than Dragon Age Inquisition. And if you remember, Dragon Age Inquisition is on the Frostbite engine, and same is Mass Effect Andromeda. So it kind of borrows from that. But apparently we're not going to get 50 Shades of Bald. That's the good part. We're going to have, because both Rider twins aren't military outright, we'll be able to have longer hairstyles. And while it hasn't been confirmed, NVIDIA Hairworks is a thing, we do know at least it moves a little bit in the air. So we do have longer ponytails and all that jazz. So that's the cool part. So some of the things, and I do have notes in front of me, so please excuse me, but there's a lot. You can change the eye shape. You can change how your nose, how it looks, how your jaw protrudes. I almost did that one bad gesture. I'm sorry about that. You can have unnatural hair colors. So if you don't want the natural like brown or black or anything like that, apparently you can go really messed up with the coloring. You can change your skin tone. There are different skin patterns, eyebrows, makeup, scars, and tattoos. So if you really want yellow lipstick, yeah, you can do that. I don't know why you would want that, but I mean, yo, you do you. That's cool. But yeah, so also whenever you do your character creator, you'll have the option of choosing what training style you had. Now the training styles is basically your background on what you do, how you are as a person that can actually fight, I guess is the best way of putting it. So there's biotic, leader, scrapper, security, operative, and technician. All of those are available right at the start for you to choose, and more will be available in time. So for instance, the operatives will gain tactical cloak. Scrappers will grab the biotic power charge and have extra points in combat fitness. I can say words. Leaders grab an energy drain and they have a skill called team support. And double beam back, because someone asked in the chat, Will Cross, yes, you heard tattoos right. Tattoos. I haven't read any publication that has said what kind of tattoos, whether it's on the face or if it's on the neck or the arms, but yo, tattoos. Let's keep going real quick. But yeah, if you don't like any of the training, the abilities that you have, you can totally, like, later on in the game, go to the med bay on the Tempest and you can respec. Apparently the first one is pretty cheap, but then it gets progressively more expensive whenever you respec. But you have the ability to. Excuse me. Oh, I should probably not brand my water. You don't know what I'm drinking, don't worry. But also, one thing that comes from character creator as well, after you choose what your character looks like, and also, not only that, but don't forget that you have to edit your brother or your sister as well. So you edit your own writer, and then you edit your other writer. And then your father, Alec Ryder, he will actually be a composite of both of yours. Now, no one knows just yet how different it will be if you, for instance, if you had your character that looks like super, well, considering I'm Asian, and then you have another person who is Caucasian, or another twin that is Caucasian. No one knows how much of the differences it will be between whenever you have that and then seeing your father. Apparently people are just like, well, I don't know. But in any case, whew. The last thing you can choose whenever you're in character creator is a biggie, because nothing has been confirmed otherwise. You can change the gender of Commander Shepard. So for some reason, if you're in here and you've never played the Mass Effect trilogy before, the main protagonist that players get to play is Commander Shepard. And there are multiple endings that have a lot of, impact in your story as Commander Shepard. But for this game, you leave before the events of Mass Effect 3. You're right, there is an orange cone. I'm sorry. And I'm going to make sure that no orange cone decides to exist. Boop. Sorry about that. But in any case, doubling back, because now all of my windows be everywhere and everything's disorganized and oh snap. But yeah, you can choose your the gender of Commander Shepard. That's the only thing that is confirmed to be about Shepard. It's expected that we'll be able to see different archives on the Nexus, the big ship that is basically the forefront of the Andromeda initiative while we're going to Andromeda. But for the time being, that's the only thing that we can change. So if you don't know, also, if you're kind of scared and you're like, oh my god, I have this really awesome rider I made, but I completely forgot how to make it, and I didn't record any of my specs or anything like that, something a little bit better than face codes is coming. And apparently it's called Mass Effect Archive. So we'll be able to keep our versions of Ryder in some capacity, as well as have our decisions kept for a later time. What decisions are carried over for future installments, we do not know. But yeah. So that's the current basis of character creator. And also, I will put a link in chat on all of my sources for this. If you don't know, I run a website called shaperit.com, which is essentially Tumblr, but let's be serious. So Shaperit has basically all of the Mass Effect information, the new IP, Dragon Age, whatever I can get my hands on as far as Bioware news. And I made a huge list of every single news outlet that I saw that did news on Andromeda and did a preview. So actually you can go to my Twitter. The link is right at the top. I pinned it at the top. So yeah, that'll be on there too. Talon Silverbane asks, so it's like Dragon Age Keep. Essentially, it's their version, it sounds like. It's very close to it. Thank you, Kaldrak and Pring. Thank you for posting it. So, but yeah, if you have any questions at any point, please put them in the chat. I'm trying to catch up and make sure that I can answer them, whether it be about what we're talking about right now, or like you have a question like, oh snap, I have something about character creator I want to ask. Let me know. Cool. So let's just move on a little bit to the decisions, the dialogue, the choices. So obviously I mentioned about the archive. The archive is apparently our way of keeping things together for future installments. But for the decision making that we're making in Andromeda, so things are a little bit different. A lot of people probably already know, you guys already know, that Bioware got rid of the Renegade and Paragon. Now what is it being replaced is emotional, logical, casual, and professional. Those are the tones that they're going with, so you're not stuck with being, okay, I need to be Paragon, and I need to continue that because I have points in it, and I need to keep going, oh my god, but this Renegade option sounds really cool, and I want to punch Khaleesi Bintanana Jelani, but I can't because I'm Paragon. See, that's one of the things that Bioware wanted to get rid of, so they changed it. And that's what's happening. Now, before you say, where are my interrupts? Well, let me interrupt you and say it's actually replaced by impulse actions. So it's still back, it's just called a little bit different. Doubling back, a couple of questions in chat. Talent asks, will we be able to redesign our rider within the game? I did not see any documentation that has listed so. Neither a similar Black Emporium DLC or the like. I know one of the devs said not this time. Razvan, yes, this will be on YouTube. What any advice you give newcomer to the Mass Effect series? Play the trilogy. Mass Effect 2 is free, so I would even start with Mass Effect 2 since it is free and it's really good and it's my favorite favorite Mass game forever. Hey Ash, you don't think they'll pull Carver Bethany on us, do you? Carver and Bethany, one of the things that could have happened is they die. None of your companions or crew can die. But that doesn't count for your twin! So, who knows? Maybe. But they have an overarching story within Andromeda, so it's not like they're going to kill them off by the end of Act 1 kind of thing. We're fine for now. Didn't one of the devs mention you could have colored hair? Yeah, unnatural hair colors, which is the awesome part. When I mentioned tattoos, if they are confirmed, would you prefer facial tattoos or just neck tattoos? Dude, neck tattoos. But that's because I think it looks badass. Like whenever you're wearing armor and then you can just see a little hint of a huge dragon that is scaling the back. That's me. But anyway, going back to decision making. So, as I mentioned, total overhaul of what it is. That way that you are totally okay with choosing different decisions whenever you're playing Mass Effect Andromeda, right? So the good part about this is that means there's a lot more gray. But on the flip side, that also does block you from certain actions. For instance, if you are consistently a dick, and then all of a sudden, there's this one option that you could comfort a girl. Sorry, that actually might not be the case, and you might not get that option because you are consistently logical, casual, professional. It depends. But there are certain cases that you will actually get blocked off. The same way that if you didn't have enough Paragon points, then you can't do a Renegade option. That apparently still exists in the game. But we should be okay with being able to choose at least, you know, I want to be professional about this. I want to be really like clear cut whenever I'm talking to Cora. But whenever I talk to PB, I'm just going to be really casual and just totally upbeat. And that actually is, I'll get to it whenever we talk about characters, but that actually will be something that you'll have to do consistently. Maybe consistently, you might not give a care. But whenever we're playing Andromeda. Can you be a casual asshole? Yes! Thank you. Will decision making still actually matter? Apparently so. And another reason for this is because every single choice that you make for tone and whatso builds your writer. So right from the get-go, every single decision kind of, I don't know if tabulates is the word, but basically it gathers your personality and builds this personality of yours as you continue throughout the game. So if you start off the game and continue being a dick right from the get-go, everyone will start seeing you as that. And that's just how you are, and that's just how you react, and that's just how, you know, things are, right? But if you were a really nice guy or girl and continued throughout the game as such, then you have that personality going and emitting throughout the entire, throughout the progression of the story. Obviously, you can switch it around and say, no, I just want to be a dick to everyone in Andromeda. Never mind, I'm cool. Then you can change that and it's totally chill. Laszlo asks, how do you feel that they've done away with the Renegade and Paragon options? I love it. I really love it because I hated being stuck in a position where I had to be Paragon almost 100% of the time. That sucked. And it's pretty good. Will you be able to romance people? That will be in the spoilers, which will be coming up. So if you have any spoiler questions, feel free to ask them, and then I'll do my best to answer them. I've read all the all of the all of the recent previews, so at least I know a fair share. So at the very least, we can talk about it if I don't know. Obviously, I did not play it yet. I just know too much and read too much, and well, as I sip my non-branded water, well, you know, we can just chill. Will it allow multiple romance options? That is actually something I can answer without having to go into spoilers. So there are 3 types of romances, or at least what we know right now. One of them is you can have a relationship with some of them. 2 is you can have a casual thing and go on dates. And number 3, there are a couple of one-night stands. So, and some of the romances will notice that you romance other people, and some of them don't care. Do dialogue options have text boxes that Dragon Age had where major decisions were made. I did not see this. I looked fervently because I wanted to know. Because one of the big things in Mass Effect is there can be something that looks like a declarative statement, but it's really an imperative statement, or it's an aggressive, interrogative statement. I'll let you know when I find out. Is there censorship between PEGI version and ESRB version? It should be the same. It should be. Knowing EA, it should be. Oh yeah, there are beards. I forgot to mention that, didn't I? There are beards. Bliss, thank you very much. When will the character creator be released, or is it within the game? It'll be released on, well, sort of, for limited, I guess, but limited early access on the 16th for anyone who has Origin access or has, what's the other thing? EA access. So if you have a console or you have it through Origin on PC, then you'll have the option. I think it's $5 for both of them, regardless if you're on console or if you're on PC. But yeah, so you can play it then. And it's 10 hours. Apparently it's 10 hours a single player, and that'll lock you out, and then it's unlimited multiplayer. I didn't get the second part confirmed yet because it's kind of like, everyone's kind of like, no, I just have the preview, it's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah. Can you play as the rider you don't choose as your main? Well, you choose a rider, so that is the rider you're playing. Though, I will say that in the past, certain BioWare devs have displayed their interest in having multiple protagonists, but that was mainly geared towards the Dragon Age series. But, I don't know. Lazlo, you know what question I'm answering. It'll be very interesting. I used to be part of the Caden Porn Week, so yeah. Is the game 18 in the US for EU 16+? Yeah, it's rated mature. And it has to be, because if you haven't seen the ESRB rating for it, it's pretty high. There's a lot of sexual content and actual nudity and all that jazz, so yep. Do you know how many planets will there will be to explore? Infinite. No, I'm kidding. It's not infinite. There are a lot. But there's also, you don't have to, you can't think about it in a matter of planets, but there are also certain hubs that we can explore, like the Kadara area, or the Nexus itself, you know, different space stations or asteroid belt / clusters. I'm not very good with my space knowledge on there, but yeah. Just rip the brand label off the bottle. All right, Sabine. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Non-branded water. There you go. Cool. Space STDs. Not confirmed, but if a game can get away with it, then I don't see why not. Oh, man. Let me see here. Will it allow romance options similar to when Shepard said to Liara and Ashley about all three together? We don't know yet, but there is the option of having possibly multiple relationships, not necessarily all at the same time, but yeah, that's coming. And so are they. So, is there going to be unlockable options like DAI's nobles, criminals, magic options? Nani? Hold on. Nobles, criminals, magic options? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by nobles. I think I can answer this question though, Talon. For certain characters, is this spoilery? This isn't spoilery. For certain characters, whenever you do loyalty missions, it will unlock a tree of abilities, or rather sets of things off to the side that, you know, might be good for your skills. Okay. Cool. God, construction outside. Chill. All right. Like DAI, you could unlock certain conversation perks. Will we get that in MEA? Good question. I haven't seen anyone confirm that. If we have specific things we can talk about with other people. That's a really good question. Thank you. I'm going to ask that actually. Dialogue boxes, Elena Pierce confirmed something like that in DAI. I must have missed that. Jesus. Luminescence, thank you for subscribing. Oh my gosh. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to do that at the end, but thank you. Cool. So, is there a sharp quality difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro? Well, HDR and 4K. It depends also on what television you're on. If you can actually get the full, if you can harness the technology that they offer in Mass Effect Andromeda. Maybe. It depends. It really depends. I would say yes, but I will not say a clear-cut answer until I have it in my hands just yet. Potentially, yes. So let's just put it that way. But PS4 is pretty strong as it is right now. But I think it's 1080-30 versus 4K-30. Excuse me. Woo! Okay. Is there an option to make your squad automatically attack enemies? The ones I saw is that they're going to attack whoever you say to attack, but if you are, for instance, are trying to be stealthy and not attack them, they'll follow you in the same manner. They'll follow what you do. It's pretty smart based off what I've seen and what I've read. Side mission involving the other rider. Which one? But the other rider, our rider twin, will have some importance in the story, and you'll know why we only see them every once in a while. Is there a similar Will Cross, you already asked that question. They're coming, so am I. No, I'm kidding. So how does it work commanding your squad mates work in MEA? Cora! Attack that guy! Alright. And then they'll go. That's literally how it happens. Well, you don't scream at them, obviously, but there's a little indicator, and you can flip, basically, whenever you're looking at an enemy, yo Cora, yo Liam, yo Vetra, like, attack that guy, and then they'll attack it. Also, so this is out of the way, also, for companions, you do have the ability to level up their skills. I believe there are 5. So yeah. You think we'll get a sad romance like Sokka and the Moon Spirit from Legend of Aang? I think we'll get a sad romance because it's Bioware. And if I've learned anything from Solas, don't trust anything, especially when a developer is very, very quiet about a companion and just says, he's a pretty interesting guy, ... But yeah. Will there be shown dongles and boobies then? Boobies, yes. There will be breasts in the game. As far as dongles, I have seen very few games that have actually taken the step, or rather I should be more specific, AAA titles that have taken the step towards having actual exposed nudity for men. Who knows? I mean, I'm going to show a little bit of myself here, but I have too much interest in how the physiology of the Angara, what they got. But we'll find out in the game. Or later. Or, yeah. Link. Torlakai! Totally not sponsored. By the way, Bioware has no affiliation with this stream or anything that I'm saying. I'm just basically compiling everything that I've read with every single article in Andromeda, on Andromeda, in this head, and then just spilling it and doing word vomit towards you guys. So, I recall the devs saying there were different tones. Do these tones feel diverse enough to warrant them being in the game as opposed to Paragon and Renegade? So, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Paragon and Renegade was very restrictive in the way that it was actually presented. A lot of people wanted to do Renegade, but they felt that they had to achieve Paragon and go with every single option because they were inclined to, because that's all they could do. And if you did Renegade options, well, I mean, you would get blocked off by certain conversations later down the line. Being Paragade or Renegon actually was kind of debilitating because you wouldn't have certain options. So you felt compelled to go one or the other. So at least they're changing it so that these tones on the surface, you know, emotional, logical, casual, professional sounds actually pretty good. I mentioned this on a tweet before, but I think the closest that we've seen is what happens at the end of the Trespasser DLC. Now this is going to be brief. This is actually a spoiler, but not for Mass Effect Andromeda, but for Dragon Age Inquisition. At the end of Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser, I'll let people tune me out for just a little bit, and I'll switch it whenever it goes. At the end, you could choose whether you wanted to disband the Inquisition or you wanted it to join the Chantry. Now, those were two options, but you had different tones in order to do it. One extreme is you basically say, drop the book, I'm done with you all, Inquisition's dead, get out of my face. And then on the other side is, oh my god, we tried so hard, but we have to disband the Inquisition. So basically that happened, and it gives you a lot more context because the way that people react to you is very, very different. And very, very, like, telling. So it also affects the fact that, let me go back on here because we're done with spoilers. How companions see you in this game, in Andromeda, not exactly affection levels, but how your relationship is with those people is represented in the UI. You'll be able to find out if, you know, you're on the bad side or not. When you find out you can marry more than one. We can't marry in this game, though. Not traditionally, anyway. Okay, is everyone gay? No, Pring, not everyone's gay. So Ryder is a power leech. In what way, Spurious? Do loyalty missions unlock alternative armor? We do know that they unlock, certain ones unlock certain tech trees. Or some, not exactly tech trees, because we know tech has its own subset, but some kind of tree of technological importance towards our abilities. Okay. I don't know how to answer that properly without being possibly misinformed. By the way, this is all from the top of my head, so I apologize if I misspeak at any point. I'm trying to get this as accurate as possible. But mind you, it's been a very daunting 48, 60 something hours since the embargo dropped. So I'm kind of like, oh my god. Okay, so. Oh man, I'm so behind. I sneezed way back when, and then I'm only reading it right now. Bless you. Thank you guys. 60 FPS on consoles. 30, unfortunately, Lazo. How different is the technology between the Milky Way galaxy races and Andromeda? So, Dragoon, so there are 3 types of technology that we have for the weapons from things. There's the Milky Way galaxy weapons that, well, you know, it has projectiles and boom, 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 and all that jazz. For the Cat, they have technology that is more beam-based. We saw a couple of examples. I think they were more collector related that were in Mass Effect 3 and also the multiplayer. And other than that, the Helios cluster ones, they rely on plasma. So there are a lot of noticeable differences, but at the same time, it's not too far-fetched considering our interactions with past races. Like, well, I don't want to say collectors because technically it's Prothean, and then the Geth and all of them. So, and by the way, this isn't exactly, well, actually, is it a spoiler? Remind me to talk about the Geth later because it might be a spoiler for some people. Anyway, let me see here. Does multiplayer work so that you can play with people on different platforms? Everything I've read so far is can't do that yet, but hopefully that will be changed soon. Is there a Krogan black box? Willcross, get a hold of yourself! God! No. We don't know. There was one technically for Iron Bull in Dragon Age Inquisition, but we never saw it. Never came to light. Oh man, some people saying Cora Harper. Don't trust Cora Harper, because, you know, her last name is Harper. If you don't know, this isn't exactly spoilery, but Harper is the last name of Jack Harper, Jack Harper being the elusive man from the original trilogy. So a lot of people don't already trust Korra. But I think I think this is not nearly as spoiler as it can be. Cerberus ties in Andromeda are kind of very low chance. All right, let's keep going. Are the Quarians in MEA? To be determined. AKA the devs were very you can find out in Andromeda, but hint, they are in some capacity apparently. I don't want to confirm it because someone could easily not see a Quarian, physically see a Quarian, and then come to me and then slap me across the face, and that would suck. I would like to see Quarians, even though I don't like Quarians that much. But anyway, let me go down. I wanted to get to. Don't forget, we have spoiler conversations to get to as well. But yeah. So let me jump right down this. Oh, I'll talk about romances in a bit. As in a bit, it'll be under the spoiler section. Because I want to make sure that people can at least talk about Andromeda to some extent while they're on here without getting spoiled for the story, because I'm really good at that apparently. So, our squad mates recruited automatically. Some of them. So, we will have Liam and Korra at the beginning. They come with us. PB is going to make her own little thing at the bottom of the ship. She's... God, is that a spoiler? Oh crap. Oh crap. Okay. No, this isn't really not much of a spoiler. She kind of like bunks in an airlock, in an escape pod. She's cool like that. Anyway. Oh man. Okay. Cool. So, can they leave our command on their own terms? We don't know, because that's like way more spoiler than anyone knows. Also, the preview that they played at the presser was only a few hours, and it was very specific parts of the story. So we won't know yet if they can leave us, if we have to recruit all of them. It seems like we have to recruit all of them. I mean, we will, in the process of the actual story, recruit them anyway. So. Do we know the major factions in this galaxy? Well, we know the Ket. We know the Rokar are a thing. We also know that there are multiple merc/gangs. The Collective, and then a couple of others. But yeah. Do you think BioWare is keeping romance hush-hush because the romance reveals for DA were so awful? I don't know if it was awful. Every single romance, in my opinion, every single romance reveal was super helpful, because I felt for the people, I've mentioned this example a lot, but I think it's very pertinent, who got locked out because they thought Dorian was a thing. They thought they could romance Dorian with their female inquisitor, because they kept away from the spoilers, and then they found out, after they locked a lot of points away already with other companions, that Dorian's actually gay. So, it really helps knowing which way they swing. At least you have some direction. Excuse me. Oh god, another one. Excuse me. Cool. All right, I'm gonna push on. So there are a lot of questions that are in here. So I'm gonna dive through these last few ones. Who would make their room in an airlock? PB. Apparently. Is the Helix cluster only inhabited by 2 intelligent races? No. Because that'd be pretty crazy. Let me look here. Can I throw things out by airlocking? We don't know if we can open the airlock ourselves, but that'd be pretty cool. How did a criminal underworld get to come along with us? If we pay attention to one of the characters that was an Andromeda lead. Oh god, that's going to spoiler territory. Ask me later when we go to the spoilers. Thank you for the thank you for blessing me. Assad, thank you for blessing me with Sunbot. Okay, there we go. Yeah, alright. So, we are going to tap into spoiler territory. If you do not want any character or story spoilers, please direct yourself to the nearest exit. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I just I still bow because I was in Japan for 2 weeks. But thank you for being here. This video will be up on YouTube. It will be split into two because obviously one is spoiler and one is not. Can I put spinners on the Nomad? Alright. Oh, and also if you want to get all the sources for the material for this stream, I will maybe post it. It's on my Twitter at the top. It's pinned. Let me get this. I got it. I'll just put the link real quick. And also another thing, if you are playing on PC, be sure to check out the Mass Effect Twitter because they released all the details on what PC entails. And if you don't know, the PC specs, the requirements are pretty intense. If you have a PC that hasn't been updated in like 3 generations, like me. So cool. All right. But yeah. All right. Here we go. Boop. Spoilers enabled.